Yeah, we can do that too. We're live. We're live. So we can handle that a bit later. We are live. We have a couple cameras here. My man Mo Hassan just showed up. Uh, who's a great guy. We've done some great things together, including the last Versace Mansion event. Wonderful event. And we also did some investor lunches during the day. We had to do two of them. We were one, and we had too many people. So I see here Joe De Pinto. Joe is at Arcade. We just had the booth, wanted to say hi, and I put him in the hot seat here. So tell me a little bit, Joe, about.
So the arcade is just an online arcade, and basically we're using the blockchain to demonstrate, or I'm sorry, we're using the arcade to demonstrate the utility of the blockchain. So we do things like micropayments, tokens, NFTs within the platform. And the way an example I give is, you go to a traditional arcade, you spend 25 cents to play Pac-Man, you get on a leaderboard, and our leaderboards are 100 people deep. Well, anyone that plays after you, for as long as you're on that leaderboard, you're going to get a fraction of their 25 cents or 10 cents or 1 cent, whatever they're spending. So really what we're doing is micropayments. And these things flow in, a one-tenth of a cent at a time. And so basically people now are playing these hyper-casual games, spending 10 cents and making a couple bucks a day from it. So
come on, spending 10 cents, making a couple bucks a day.
I'll show you what it looks like right here. These are all micropayments that I've received in the last hour or so. So you just scroll through those. 2 1,000ths of a cent.
Let me see here. Can we get a
1 1,000th of a cent.
All these little micro payments, a little bit. You can see that, please.
So that's
pretty awesome.
That's the premise behind Haste Arcade. And then, like I said, we do things like we have tokens. So the same way, if you went to a traditional arcade, you play, Pac-Man. Whether you make a leaderboard or not, you're going to earn tokens that you can then redeem, for prizes. We have prize boards. We have all that type of stuff. Same thing like a traditional arcade. So that's really what it is, demonstrating the utility of blockchain.
Pretty cool. And so you're on the BSV chain.
Yes.
Tell me, how has that been?
We use that blockchain just because it's the only one, to our knowledge, that can facilitate like our output payouts. We're chain agnostic. Like we've looked at other chains. Solana comes to mind. Polygon comes to mind, Polkadot. But in terms of what we're doing with these leaderboard payouts, right now BSV is the only chain that can facilitate all the different things we have going on. And we haven't had any issues with it. We've been on it for about a year and a half now. I haven't had a single problem.
That's amazing. So, Solana, right, comes to mind. I mean, they've had some major problems. I think they'll probably pull through it. We'll see. It's not always easy, if you've been around as long as I have, you've seen quite a few things.
Yeah. Sure.
So you're based out in California.
Yes.
What brought you out here to the Crypto Connect?
It's funny. I was actually, my parents got me tickets to a Jack Johnson concert 2 nights ago. But in working on BSV, I've gotten to know a lot of people in that ecosystem. They asked if we were going to have anybody out here for this particular convention. I was like, well, I'm actually going to be there that week anyways. I'd love to come and check it out. And so they set up the arcade, they set up the Bitcade over there, and we're just fortunate that, they're wanting to basically demonstrate some of our games. It's cool.
That is really cool. So what is your main goal here?
I want to learn more about what other people are doing in terms of utility of the chains. I hear a lot about investing, and that doesn't really excite me at this point. I want to find the companies that, not to pump our own horn, but it's show me some utility that you can do with blockchain that is impossible otherwise, right? And I think micropayments are a big piece of that. So I want to see other companies that are doing similar things, whether it's gaming or other types of applications, who are actually using the blockchain to build business models that couldn't have existed previously. That's what I'm hoping to see here.
Well, that's pretty interesting. And what is your background?
I was a baseball player. Myself, my co-founder, we met playing in the minor leagues for the Chicago White Sox. After that, me and him ended up starting a company in 2015, which is all in the service industry. But through that experience, that's kind of how we got introduced to Bitcoin. We were paying attention to merchant credit card processing fees, and we came across this thing called Bitcoin in 2015. And at the time, it was extremely cheap to send it. It was really fast, and we're just like, wow, this is way better than credit cards. Maybe we could build this into our platform eventually. That didn't end up happening. But that's basically how we got introduced to crypto and what eventually led us here.
That's pretty cool. So one of the things, I forgot to pass the thing back and forth. So one of the things that I sometimes get some pushback on is when they talk about the metaverse and the gaming and everything else, they don't, a lot of times these guys don't see the transactions, but as you just saw, there's a lot of transactions that are happening. So how do you see that developing? Will there be a lot of transactions in metaverse and in the gaming?
I think there have to be. I think that was one of the original goals of Bitcoin, was to create a peer-to-peer electronic cash, right? The title of the white paper is pretty clear in terms of casual payments. And if you don't have transactions, like, what's the incentive for a miner to continue mining that chain, right? At a certain point, you're going to have these block rewards having down, for years, and eventually there's not going to be any just like block reward for mining a block. You're going to have transaction volume to actually be able to pay the miners. Otherwise, like, why are they going to spend the money on the electricity to mine that chain? So yes, I do think that transactions are going to be a huge thing, and to get on the BSV chain, it's like that is what they're going for over there. They want tons of transactions, low transaction costs, and fast speeds, and that's what I think it's going to take for a chain to actually scale. So I'm big on transactions.
Cool. Well, it is pretty interesting. I always tell people that if you want to invest in a coin, or if you're looking at different things, look at the coins that are at the conferences. Those are the ones who are out there hustling. People say, Bruce, you got a pretty good hustle going on. Well, they're right. I'm at all the conferences. I'm talking to all the people. I'm bringing out all the different technologies and the investors and everybody that are here. So I think that's pretty important. I see a pretty big move that the team's making. Joe, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you, Bruce.
I appreciate it. We'll see you soon.